treat us so that we become hateful and angry. That's why I read the ayat. I think people want people to be more hateful than loving. I think that's what they're pushing for. But it ain't gonna work with us. So far, I haven't had no. And we knew this stuff years ago. That's why all our notes, no matter how far you go back, it has things that we are not cultivating hatred, that we're cultivating love and compassion and all that stuff over and over again. We have been trained very well by the total environment. In other words, the environment have trained us to do good, not evil. But if we did like everybody else, the environment would teach you hatred, mistrust. You gotta get, only the strong survive, you know what I mean? And if you ain't survived, it's because you're just weak, you weak nigga. You know what I mean? That's the teachings. That's human teaching. If there's something wrong with you, nigga, it ain't the boss man. They got poor white folks and poor niggas. And if you a poor nigga, it's because you've been working on it. You trained yourself to be a poor nigga. People talk pretty bad. They can make people just as mean as they can be. So, for us, vets, help yourself by helping others. Start with throwaway people, discarded and considered worthless. As we consider the people of weak and of no account, and made them leaders in the land. It sure is. Besides, like that 700 or something like that. I can't wait for a system. Where is this stuff? This is personal. The system don't trust me, so I'm tired of it. I'm not going to wait on them anymore. You know, and try to calm them down. Boss man, you don't have to worry. No. We're just going to do what we can. And as we move along, if we can shift it to somebody else and let them do it, or whatever. It's not about, after a while you outgrow that personal stuff. You just outgrow it. Because when Allah hook you up, you hooked up. A few facts, 22 deaths per day. That's from military, not from other people just dying to be dying. You know. Vets, help yourself by helping others. Structure motivational lecture. Good. And we have here, this is doable. And I would say, in a way, I think it's kind of easy. You know why? Because nobody else wants to do it. Just imagine you can go into a field that nobody wants to be in there. Or people are afraid, I don't want to help nobody else because I ain't got nothing to sell. If I didn't get the stimulus check, I would have been finished. You know. So during times of scarcity, people loosen up. But remember, we're counting on the good in the human being. And that comes from belief. Allah put good in everybody. And if you strike the right chord, you'll have more help than you need. I haven't mentioned getting, some of our old things talk about getting preachers and other things involved, but we have to show them a model first. I'm not saying that my friends are preachers, but not them, that's a bad thing to say. A Negro Christian preacher don't know what you're talking about when you talk about this stuff right here. One of my big friends, of course he drives, that is 749 or something like that. big BMW? What's this?
I think the 740, yeah.
Yeah, that big one. Yeah. He had one up to they're telling me, I'm putting in this thing, and I'm gonna get enough for both of us, for all of us. I said, well, so he told me what it was. I said, no, I don't want any money from the government. And he kept, and I said, no, I don't take that type of money. I say, if they want to drive by my place and throw it over the fence, I'll take it. But they can't stop, and I sign the thing, thank you for this government money. And to this day, some kind of way, we not like we was before, because we was in the same thing, we was both big, he got a church, and he just don't, well, if you're not doing it for that reason, why, this is what he's thinking. But I should have known that all the time, because I'm talking about in 79 and 80, he came by our first mosque that we hadn't bought that, we was renting it. And he was talking, I say, yeah, da-da-da-da. He say, why you doing this Islam, man? Why not do, I just said, well, I just happen to not believe that. That's the reason I don't do it. But man, the heat and everything, because they knew what heat was, man, this thing, you're talking about carry plenty heat. It's like, I said, yeah, I know that now. I said, well, why not do the Christian thing? He had a big case and he got saved and they shrank the time. I said, man, I ain't doing that. That ain't what I'm doing. I actually believe this stuff, helping the poor and all of that stuff. And, at that time, it was more like personal. This has helped me a lot. And later on, you graduate into, you evolve. To this day, he don't hardly talk to me much no more. And he's a good friend of mine. We was in the Jahiliyyah together. In fact, he was right under me. And when I left, he kept on coming up. And he did well in that till he got hooked on that pipe. And then the money flew away, and then he got saved, and he came on back. I said, I don't believe in such and such as my personal savior. I just don't believe it. I like it. I like it for everybody, but I should give you my lectures on. In fact, in his church, I read that letter we have, open letter to the churches. Yeah. But he had already he was paranoid by then. What you gonna read? Because before it was fine. We could did everything and anything. And we hung out and everything. But after, what you gonna read? I gotta ask the secretary. I said, I thought you was the preacher. I thought you was. Well, all right, and he was nervous all the time. He was actually nervous because I was up reading it before the congregation. And everybody in the congregation was our friends. It was nobody there that didn't go through the same stuff. Everybody, his whole congregation is the whole neighborhood. That's the only people in the congregation, is the people that did what we did. Everybody got the Holy Ghost now. Willie Ward passed away, Ted Ward and them, but that's the church they went to. Willie Ward just died last year. He was the youngest of the Ward brothers. He was right there in the front row. Yeah. Okay. So that's basically what we want to do. Just to go again, we're gonna acquire and distribute enough food to do Saturdays and Sundays, or just one or the other, according to how much food we have. But we'll make sure, with Allah's help, that we have enough to do at least one day a week. But I imagine that as it starts rolling in, that we'll acquire quite a bit of food. So that's what we want to do. And then tomorrow's, we'll spend tomorrow and Tuesday getting ready, inshallah. And I want to take my yellow car over. I'll call it, what's the name to do that? What's they call them? A tow truck.
Oh.
Yeah, I just call it. I'm not going to make it hard on him. Like he said, he act like everything is fine. If it is, fine. If it's not, fine. But I'll start with that car, because that's what I told him. That one don't work at all. Neither one of them, none of them, they have all quit ahead of time. But I told him that quit in one day. When I got it back, you notice I never drove that car. I drove it over there and it sit there. So I'll have AAA or somebody come take it over there. I'll do that tomorrow, inshallah. Okay. Are there any questions or comments? Yes.
I wouldn't do 110%, but just one little quirk we are forgetting about these younger generation today. They are smoking this stuff that's turning into zombies. They got wars with zombies with these kids today.
You mean they smoking K2 and all that?
All that other stuff.
Yeah. One thing about it, we can't stop it, but we can put together a package that helps people that want help. We're short-handed ourselves. They have destroyed the flower of our community over and over again. Just like they did the Indians. They know alcohol is bad for Indians. They know they don't function good on it. So they give it to them. And they said, well, we don't have no reservations. We don't have no liquor stores on reservations. Walk across the street from the reservation. What the hell do you think is there? Doggone liquor store. Right? So they just get a ride from each other, and they ride up and buy all the liquor they want, and then go back to the reservation. Same thing with drugs. You want to abuse people and misuse them, first where it started is with self-abuse. Let them abuse themselves. Let them kill themselves. And everything was based on that. Instead of black people fighting in unity against the white man loaded our community up with things to make us fight and kill each other. You see what I mean? Okay, so with K2 and all of that, we don't have no ability because see, the thing about drugs is you have to want to, you know what I mean? Like drugs and alcohol, like when we do the homeless thing, a lot of the people are going to be alcoholics. A lot of people are going to have a drug problem. We have to have some type of treatment floating right on there because of numbers. But see, they'll be coming to us. And how we deal with that is going to be, do we have people that have a drug problem all the one barracks or something, or do we have, all that stuff we have to think about and what's best for them. Not what's best for management for us. We put all the niggas in one thing, then you can focus. Yeah, but they'll all be there encouraging each other to, you know what I mean? So we got a lot of things we have to think. This is not only growth for them, mostly it's growth for us. We have to be bigger, and we have to study this stuff. Just like to do what we did around here, we have to study management, study leadership, right? We have to study that. We got articles. We got articles on all that, management in Islam, leadership, principles of leadership. We have to study that stuff on a big scale and then on ourselves. With drugs, when we get back on this side, basically on the East Coast, we may have developed some programs that are more helpful. But in the meantime, we just hope that we can keep it under wraps. We may even have to buy a huge amount of drugs so we could have it there. I'm not just what I would say, but so we could keep them around so they could get their minimum amount of stuff without running off and coming back and running off. Well, we could guide them off. If you take one spoon this month, 3 months from now, we want you to take a half a spoon. You know what I mean? If we got them there. Yeah. I'm talking about stuff that works now. I'm not talking about stuff philosophical. And about legality, shoot, Oregon already gone legal on heroin and everything else. And a lot of other people, they're saying there ain't no sense of that war, drug war, we lost. We lost 50 years ago, we lost that war. And no matter how you shape it and fashion it, we have lost, and we're losing. So you might as well legalize it. And that's what we say, might as well legalize it. So, any more questions or comments?
Yeah, brother asked, let me head over this one here. Or there's more of a comment. He said, this is all true and wonderful, but we as Muslims in general, and black people in particular, are quick to throw one another away. I'm sorry to say, but we are harder on people trying to reform themselves once a negative impression has been made. I personally have received more rejection from my own people than I have for non-black people. So I admire the aspirations of this program to rebuild people from the ground up, but we have to learn to love and appreciate one another first. Just my opinion. May Allah forgive me for anything that I said that was incorrect or harmful.
Well, no, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about love. We already know that the Negro don't like the Negro, and the Negro don't like himself, else he wouldn't be. So that's what we're talking about. That's what the brother was talking about. Compassion and love for humanity. And that's the way you get big things done. Nobody here has to be taught to the nigga will cut your throat before he help you across the street. And everybody knows. It's normal, right? It's actually normal. In fact, in our life, if only the strong survive. You know, you got to get your own money. Look out for yourself. Look out for number one. All of that stuff. We knew that 1,000 years ago. What we're talking about now is the other side. We can do stuff to bring the bad and the evil out of people, or we can do things and it'll call people out of the woodwork. You didn't know those thousands of people was there. I wanted to help all along. I just didn't know who to help. And imagine when we get a few other people from the other religions that's what they claim they want to do. The homeless and the helpless, they shut out and they shut in, all don't know what good gonna come, but we know if we do what we just talked about, or get started on it, we expect Allah's help. And number one, we got Allah's help. If we know we do that with the right intention, we already got one blessing. It's already there. That's sufficient for you. You know, one blessing, one of those blessings is going to get you in. And if Allah blesses your endeavor, it may be 10 times, 50 times, 700 times. And according to some of them hadith, 50,000. You know, you ever read any of them? You get, say such and such, you get 50,000. You know, well, you know, fine, that's what we want to do. Any more questions or comments?
No,
Does everybody have a picture about the Ramadan, what we gonna do for Ramadan?
Yeah, so were we gonna do that program, those people that reached out on the, about the tafsir? There was a sister that reached out a few weeks ago. It kind of sounded like we weren't going to do it, or were we? I just need to confirm to let her know, because she's trying to
Okay, here's the thing now,
if
since
we're
we
gonna
did
do it or not.
flip back on page, some nights we will have classes.
Right, yeah.
Like we always do.
Yeah.
So some nights we will have lectures on Ramadan, the values of Ramadan, the values of fasting. And what was her subject about?
Just pick a tafsir on, you know, really from a juz from that particular day that people are going to be reading. You know, on any sort from that juz, really.
And what does she want to do with it?
They're going to do a live stream on their platform. So it's the same way we've done the other live streams when people brought you onto the show to
Right.
talk, it would be the same thing.
See, she was gonna have different reciters, I guess.
Yeah.
Do a juice, and then you had said, as opposed to doing that, you might do a tafsir. So I guess you're gonna have a different recitation for each juice.
What they could do now is she on there now?
No, I have to send her a message after.
Okay, what she can do is have a brief reading for that day, not the whole reading of the juice. And then a person that they select, they could